back with another episode of Two Straws. Yay.
Hey. Hello, Jessica. How are you?
Hello, Angela. I'm doing great. I just feel a little discombobulated. I think it's the drink.
It was a
like
lot
a little bit too
of
strong.
stuff happening. So we
I
just
know.
went live on our OnlyFans.
Ooh, and I need a drink afterwards.
Brought
That
to
was
you by
stressful.
OnlyFans, the hottest MMA podcast on the platform. Yes. Yeah, we just went live. We didn't make out or anything, but we talked about what we were going to get talking about. We wanted to poll the fans and see what they wanted us to discuss on the show. So next time we film, make sure to jump on our live stream and check it out and say hi.
It's going to be a thing.
It's going to be a thing. We're
Great
doing
success.
it. Yes. Much success. Cheers to Two Straws and our many endeavors we go after.
We still have this like really exciting announcement that we have yet to be able to
Oh
announce.
my
This is,
God.
it's becoming an annoyance.
It is.
I'm quite impatient.
I'm happy that we have something fun to announce, but by God, let us announce it. I'm so excited to announce
You
it.
guys will be really excited too, I promise.
Dude, and that's kind of been the theme of the month, because we also had that really cool video that we shot for the MMA awards.
Oh my God. That was too hot for ESPN Plus.
It was too hot for ESPN Plus. So
And let me tell you, when I say it's fucking hot,
it was so hot.
hot.
It was super hot. You guys are going to love it. Hopefully you'll see it soon on YouTube. And my girl Jess was in it. She told me to fuck these bitches up. And then I did with my rap lyrics. It's a thing.
She laid it down. Laid it down.
We had a cipher going. I was, I was flowing. I'm no Bryce Mitchell, but
But you could give him a run for his money.
I got bars.
On bars.
Bars on bars. So hopefully that video will drop soon, and hopefully we'll be able to announce our big announcement soon as well. But until then, go to our OnlyFans. There's stuff there.
We just posted our live stream from just before this episode, and we answer some questions.
Yep.
We interact.
Yeah.
Candidly, and it's fun to get to interact with people that we don't normally get to. So make sure to tune into the next one.
And don't ask us to show our
Don't
feet.
be fucking weird, dude. Don't be weird. That's not what it's there for.
We're there to ask fighter questions, not OnlyFans questions.
Yeah,
Yes.
we are athletes on that platform.
Okay, so a lot has happened since we last met. There was UFC 296. There was other stuff. What else happened?
There was an Apex card.
Oh yeah.
I think I want to stay with 296 because there's a lot to cover.
So much
to cover. Before, during, and after that card, there's just a ton to cover. But I think we have to talk about Khalil Rountree's huge knockout over Anthony Smith.
Oh yes.
So Anthony Smith stepped up as a short notice replacement for Khalil Rountree, and wow, it was a really, really intense fight. Khalil got a huge knockout.
Man,
knockout.
It was kind of, I don't know. I was hoping to be surprised, because when I found out that he was filling in, the first thing everyone who knew Anthony Smith thought, why would you do that? You're chilling.
He said he wants to feel alive.
Oh my God.
Terrible.
Yes. And I totally get that. But this is a man whose strengths complement your weaknesses for his benefit perfectly. Yeah. So I was really nervous for that fight, just because I really love Anthony as a fighter. I've seen what gets him in trouble, and Khalil's so good at that stuff. He's so good at leg kicks. He's so good at throwing power shots and setting them up too. He doesn't just go in like a crazy person. So it seemed like a recipe for disaster, and it was a gutsy performance by Anthony Smith, but Khalil did what a lot of people expected him to do, and it was really impressive. Really impressive.
It was. Khalil is a former not training partner, but teammate and
Yeah.
roommate.
I'm like,
and
he kicked you?
no,
Oh,
God,
God.
no, he would break me.
Little Adam Waite Jess getting kicked by
That-
Khalil Rountree.
No, that femur would have
Oh, my God.
been severed in half.
He can't even
No.
drill with you without breaking something.
No, exactly.
Have you ever drilled with someone and
Verdum.
Verdum?
Fabricio.
What?
Verdum. No,
Holy shit. That
So-
leg, did you wash it after that? That's
no.
amazing.
No, I had to hold pads for this man.
oh.
So it was, I'm from Orange County. I trained, a big chunk of my career up in Orange County with Rafael Cordero at King's MMA
Cool.
and Mark Munoz at Rain Training Center.
Okay.
And we would do a lot of cross training. We would also go to like Calvary Chapel and Black House. We had like a really awesome like stable of people to cross train with. And sometimes, this is, kind of back in the day where, little old Adam Waite was always the only little old Adam Waite on the mats with the big boys.
I'm just as tough as you.
I am not.
That's your Adam Waite voice. you gained 15 pounds and it changed.
Got a little bass in there.
Yeah.
Got a little bass in here and bass back there.
Hey, gained some weight in your vocal cord.
Exactly. So one day, we showed up to Affliction. This is like back in the day when Affliction was, had their big warehouse and they had a huge training room, and we would do some cross training up there because we had, guys from Kings and Rain that were doing, training. So we would go up there and we'd use the ring and the mat space.
Was the ring bedazzled as well? Just no.
Everything else was. Everything else was.
Oh, shower curtains.
Yeah. Metal.
The sign. You walk in the door, bedazzled.
Everything. And so I showed up to train one day and there was nothing but heavyweights.
Oh no.
Like nothing but them. Or like I think the smallest
And like
person,
famous ones too.
like legit scary human beings. Like, Vanderlei and Shogun and like
Oh my God.
all these people that like you're just like ouch.
Oh no.
And they were very, very nice. But yeah, I had to hold pads for Verdum while he was warming up. There weren't enough people to have an actual training session, so we did a lot of like pads and mitt work, and we would do stations, like a circuit station. And I had to brace myself up against the wall and hold for this man. And he was being nice. He wasn't, loading up or anything like that, but it was terrifying. It was terrifying. The amount that I had to like brace and breathe was exhausting.
Yeah, just for a light kick. Just for him to get the form right.
Just for him to get warmed up.
Yeah. Basically shadow boxing with a target.
Yeah,
and it's still
I was
scary.
Terrified. But they're so encouraging and like inclusive that they're like, yeah, just and then Rafael Cordero is like one of those guys where he walks by and you just want to impress him. You just want to like do your best around this man. He brings it out of people. So I'm
no.
I got it, no
Harder.
problem. And he's like, go. I'm like, thanks, I got a thumbs up from Rafael Cordero. Yay.
Meanwhile, both of your forearms are fractured.
Meanwhile, I'm going to take a trip to the ER real quick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fun.
It was terrifying, but you do it with a smile on your face.
Hey, that's awesome. Yeah, I feel like every time I have someone place a leg kick on me that is, I don't know, like an ex-fighter, they always place it as if they still weigh the same as when they fought. And it's so heavy. Like AJ, Jenna's coach, AJ Matthews, he fought in Bellator and a bunch of other promotions, but he doesn't fight anymore. And he'll show you like, oh yeah, you got to throw the leg kick like this, and he'll just like place it on the leg. Meanwhile, it goes through my femur. I can feel the dink on my bone, on my thigh bone, and it hurts like a motherfucker. I know he's just placing it and being nice, but I'm just thinking the poor motherfucker that gets a full powered one of those. Jesus. Like, oh my God, it's terrifying.
Yeah, no, thank you.
It really is. So whenever I think of Khalil Rountree, I think of those people who have placed kicks and then they hurt like hell. And I'm like, man, I would hate to know that someone I love is fighting him because he is the nicest person ever, but a bastard in the cage. Like, such a bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty. I was really happy for him though with that one.
I was too. He's you know, I mean, everybody has their ups and downs in this sport, but he's a good human. Like he really, really is. So I just want good things for him, and I was really, really happy about his performance. And you know, I want to see him have all the success in the world. He deserves it. He's a great human.
Yay, go Khalil! Way to end out the year.
But we need to get to 296.
Man, okay. So UFC 296 had a lot of craziness. Can we start with the prelims? Because I feel like we're going to miss them if we get to the juice.
Yes.
Like if we get to the big juice. But I just want to say that the girls were showing out.
Oh my goodness.
The girls on the prelims.
I'm not surprised.
Holy cow. I mean, we always bring the fire and the feistiness. I mean, hence our last conversation last time that we recorded. But this was a pure example of that. I mean, talk about setting the stage and then people proving what you said to be right. Women are ferocious. And not just Irene Aldana's fight, but the fight before that with Ariane Lipski. Dude, she came after King Casey. She's like a fighter that I've been watching for a while. I really like her. I like how she fights. I like how she finishes people. And I think Lipski was kind of under the radar. People haven't really been paying attention to her because of however many tough fights that she's had, but she's putting together a really sick version of herself right now. Like, she is going in, she's hurting people on the feet and then finishing them on the ground, like finding the quickest way to success. And I was so impressed with that fight.
Yeah, she made Casey just really, she shut down Casey's offense. And Casey's one of those grinders. She wants to grapple, wrestle, and she was Lipski was having none of it. And, and it made a really, really tough night for Casey.
Yeah. Good for her. And then, okay.
The one
we fucking gotta talk about is Irene Aldana versus my last opponent's girlfriend, Rosa. Carol Rosa?
I think it's Hosa, but
Hosa.
Rosa,
my bad.
whatever.
Hosa. Like Hey Girl Hayes, Wilson Hayes.
Yes.
Yeah. Carol Hosa.
Wow.
Dude.
So it's been a challenge to watch fights and like enjoy them because, you know, I'm sad.
Oh,
because I've been injured.
Yeah.
And this one got me so hyped.
Yeah.
This one was like, oh man, I cannot wait to go back to training. I'm so excited to learn stuff and implement stuff. Like, this one got me so hyped. Mm-hmm. Irene Aldana, she just a little crazy. She takes a lot of damage, but and she sticks to the game plan, and she knows what she wants to do, and
I don't care.
Does not protect her legs at all. I mean, I speak from experience. Anytime I see somebody get calf kicked, I'm just like, oh, I know what that feels like. Yeah. But she stuck to the game plan. She believed in her hands. She believed in what she was doing, and it was just so impressive. Like her boxing, once she started opening up and finding her range, it was just so precise, so sharp. And I mean, in the first round, it really looked like Hosa was,
hosing her. Hosa in her.
Get it?
Yeah. I was so impressed. I was showering and I hear Adam yelling because we're watching prelims before we go to where we're going to watch the main card. And as I'm getting out the shower, Adam's like, Irene Aldana's getting her ass kicked. I'm like, no. I ran naked. No, I put a thing on and I ran out and I'm just like, holy crap. Her leg was already red, her inside thigh, and she was getting tagged a bit in the face too, and just didn't seem to be figuring out what to do next. Like she was really getting taken taken off of her balance every time she got inside leg kicked. And like they were saying in the commentary, it's hard to finish a fight that way. It's hard to inside leg kick KO somebody, but it's definitely going to take away their mobility.
Exactly.
And allow you to go up top with stuff, allow her to not be as evasive. So you saw that playing out in the first round, but then I think towards the end of the first, you could see the damage start to accumulate on Hosa's face. It wasn't that much, but it was enough to show Aldana, I think, that the game plan will work. You just got to stay in her face.
Yeah. And she did.
And she did. She was all up in that face. Man, the post-fight photo of the both of them.
It was so cute. They're in the hospital.
They're adorable. Looking like two Halloween masks. I fucking love that. No, I love that because when I get in a fight like that, I'm like, yo, this is living. This is what life feels like. Like we're really lucky to be able to do what we do and show how gutsy we are without the fear of dying. Like I think people don't really get to experience that unless they're in an actual war where there's a good chance they might die. So we get to experience that in the safety of an arena. We get paid for it. It's a pretty cool thing to be in if you're built for that. And those two, holy shit, they are built for that. They are warriors.
Fight. It was beautiful violence at its finest. It just made me excited to be a fighter.
Yeah,
it really did. You know, that's the kind of dance partner that you want. Someone just willing to just engage, like bite down on your mouthpiece, come forward, and take some, give some back. It's one of those like beautiful fights that I'll definitely be. I was taking notes. I was taking notes of all the things that I want to work on when I get to finally like get back on the mat.
What was one of them?
Body shots.
Oh yeah,
and calf kicks.
Oh, the body shot. The body shot was nice.
She had some beautiful body shots.
Yeah. That jab, too. That jab is just super fast. But also, I was really impressed with the way that Hosa was able to just kind of get her thinking about the hands and then chopping the leg right away. Yeah. No matter where she was, no matter what combo, what hand she finished with, she would chop that leg wherever she saw it. And it was usually the inside, but a lot of times she would go left, right, left, and then chop with her left leg. She'd go right, left, right, and then chop with the inside with her left. So it was making Aldana not really be able to brace for it. She didn't know when it was coming. And it was so disciplined and so thrown so frequently that it was really impressive to watch. So I made a mental note of that too. Just go for the leg kick, spam it, and throw it like a baseball bat every time. Swing it, commit to it, and it's gonna do damage. It's gonna pay off in the end.
Yeah, there was also another fight on the card, and that was Cody No Love and what's Brian? Is it
Brian Kelleher?
Brian Kelleher, and Brian Kelleher was doing the same kind of game plan against Cody Garbrandt with chopping at the calf, chopping at the inside leg. And he was doing a good job, and that's a great game plan for somebody that has such sound boxing like Cody and who, has great footwork and, really uses his movement to set up all of his shots, his offense and his defense. So I thought that was super impressive. Cody got a beautiful stoppage in that fight. But it's one of those tools that I've been on the receiving end of in fights, and it just takes one, honestly. And the commentary is always doing this, and people always want to criticize, like, oh, why don't you just switch stances? Why don't you do this? Because that's the power stance. That's where people are good at, and it's hard to switch that up if it's not trained. And even if you do train it, it's still not your natural stance. It's not where you're the most powerful and effective and efficient.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You have to train it. You have to train it, especially if it's something that you've felt in a fight, because everyone's going to watch that tape and they're going to be like, okay, I'm going to do that to him. I'm going to throw the leg kick. Yeah. And they were saying it in the commentary too. They're like, okay, Aldana is going to get past this girl, but everyone's going to know to throw the inside leg kick against her. And hey, you know what that could lead to? A good bait for that Anderson Silva inside leg kick check, because if nobody's expecting her to check it, they're going to throw that with some gusto. And if you're not used to throwing leg kicks and getting checked, then your leg might snap.
Yeah.
It really is something that takes years of, what do you call that thing where the microfractions in your bone calcifies it and makes it stronger? Is this like a name for it, a medical term for it or something?
I just know it's like calcification or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah. But it's like if you look at an X-ray of a fighter's fist, then these two knuckles are going to be a lot bigger than when
if you punch right.
If you punch right, yours are big. Yours are big. Your first two are big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna look a lot different from someone who doesn't fight. Basically all the knuckles are gonna be about the same size, and the X-ray, ours are like two big ones, two small ones.
A little Cro-Magnon.
Yeah,
but in a good way.
Yeah, they're like,
Same with like wrestlers with the Cro-Magnon forehead that they
exactly
get from grinding so much with their forehead.
Boom, boom. But those guys are hard to knock out. I remember kicking my wrestling coach in the head, square in the head, on accident.
I was like, why'd you do that?
Yeah. He was shooting, and I was throwing a body kick, and his head went right into my shin. And guess who was hurt? Me. It hurt so bad. I thought he cracked my shin bone in half the way it landed. And he's like, you okay? So thanks,
such a
Chad.
dick thing to do.
Thanks, Chad. He didn't do it on purpose. It was just, I was throwing a body kick. We were drilling, and he thought, oh, let me shoot on her and see how she reacts. And shin to forehead, bounced off of his. Mine hurt like a motherfucker.
It's a good reaction, though.
Yeah.
It's a good reaction.
Yeah, it is a good reaction if they're not huge and a wrestler. But yeah, that calcification helps a lot when you're throwing leg kicks and they get checked. A lot of people can kick through that because they've just been kicking a bag all their life, kicking pads, kicking trees in some cases. But if you don't have that experience of kicking stuff all the time, you can get a little shin break. Anderson Silva has done all that stuff all his life, and it even happened to him. But I think it's a little more likely to happen if you're not used to that bump.
For sure.
Yeah. So that's something that could happen if she plays her cards right, if she learns to turn that knee in. But she did say that she had a knee injury going into that, and it might have made it the better of the two decisions. Like sometimes that pressure on the front of the knee when you do check the kick can be a little too much on the ligaments if you have an injured knee, and it was better to just take it in the thigh and keep pressing forward.
There was a highlight that I literally just saw today, and I think it was Michael Venom Page, because they announced that he's with the UFC now.
Yeah.
But they had, I like lost train of thought.
He's fighting Kevin Holland, right?
Yeah. Which that's a fun fight. That's a really
but I might have to go to that live. That's a fun awesome fight.
That is a really, really fun fight to watch. But it was one of Michael Venom Page's highlights, and he kicked somebody, and it like dislocated the patella. Like you saw it like dent in. Mm-hmm. And oh my God.
I swear, me and Adam, we always say that he must have gone to the crossroads somewhere and sold his soul to the devil, because he destroys people and he doesn't look like anything. He's this little skinny guy, little twig of a guy. Looks kind of like a praying mantis.
Just his legs.
Just his
the
legs.
The rest of him's kind of built.
No, he's so skinny though. He's so skinny and he's bony, but that shouldn't mean that he caves people's heads in. He
cyborg, man.
kicks their knees off. Like, this guy does the craziest stuff in the cage, and that's why I'm so excited for him getting to the UFC to see what he can do in there. But I'm rooting for my boy Kevin Holland. I have a feeling he'll pull it off.
No, I'm really excited about that fight. I was pleasantly surprised when I saw it today on the announcement.
Yeah, that's really cool. Really cool. But yeah, I was really happy for Cody Garbrandt too, even though I really like Brian Kelleher. At this point, it's like one of your friends are going to lose. Somebody you like is going to lose.
It starts
no matter who they're fighting.
May the best man or woman win.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard.
Yeah, but I did. I ran into Cody when I was out in Vegas for the Nogi Worlds, and I saw him at the PI, and he said that he had just changed things up with camp a little bit. Instead of just being where he usually is, he moved everyone out to Vegas that he was working with, and it was a very tailored to him kind of camp. And I think that's so important for fighters, especially once you get to a point where you can afford that, because you're most likely fighting really tough competition, like super tough competition, and you can't afford to be learning what someone else has to learn if you either already know it or it's not really important for your matchup. Like if you have to learn, hopefully you don't have to learn something for a fight, but if there's something that you need to work on, it's much better to just have everything tailored towards you. So I think that showed in this fight, because Garbrandt looked like a new fighter. He looked reinvigorated, like revived, and the old version of himself. And it was real cool to see, because he's always been one of those people who they put a lot of attention into, and then once he lost a few times, people just wrote him off.
Yeah.
And it makes me really sad. Like I always get like kind of jealous of the people who get attention, but then once things stop going their way, it's a real stark difference. And I feel for those athletes who were at the top of the mountain and suddenly nobody is talking about them anymore.
And it's a fast drop.
It is.
Like fighters have a very limited time, and when they're on that trajectory, if it's interrupted, like it's really hard to get back on track.
Oh God. You okay? Okay. It's just noisy. I thought
just yell if you need help.
I thought a whole bunch of pots and pans just
it sounded like
Adam's making cookies.
But once that trajectory is interrupted, it's really hard to get back up on track.
Yeah,
it really is. I mean, one fight can completely change your trajectory, and you may not ever get on that same path again. It's very challenging. So for him, for anyone who is able to constantly reinvent themselves, to invest in themselves, it's absolutely amazing, because it's not common.
Yeah, it really isn't. And MMA is so unforgiving. A lot of times you're not healthy enough to do that, or you're not given enough opportunities. You get cut before you're able to do it. So it's really awesome when people are lucky enough to have the chance of everything working out, and then they're able to get those wins that they need. And it's good job, Cody. It's so nice.
He's a sweetie too.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of really awesome fights on the main card,
and a lot of non-sweeties to talk about.
We have some weird stuff to talk about too. I don't know what I'm more excited to talk about, the fights or the antics.
Let's talk about the antics.
Okay, well, if you're gonna talk about trajectory and all that kind of stuff, we can bring up Garry.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, let's talk about that,
because he's been on like the fast track to success in the division. He's been one of those characters that's very entertaining, very outspoken, and he's paved this nice little path for him. And he didn't end up making it to the press conference. He didn't end up making it to the fight, and that there's a lot of stuff wrapped up into his personal life. And if you've been paying attention to any of the stuff that's going on with the amazing MMA trolls, they're going in at him in like a ruthless, relentless way. Like there's a lot going on, a lot of stuff being put on his personal life, and I'm just kind of wondering how
to be a wag.
Stop it.
Is that what you're wondering?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to become a wag, it's not going to be with a fighter. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
It's not going to be with a fighter. Wrong
profession. Go for a basketball player, football. Soccer is the big one.
Oh my god.
Yes. Why?
Damn it.
Why wouldn't you go for that?
Like don't just
women's
don't do
soccer. Women's soccer is way more lucrative. WNBA, you go for a UFC fighter?
it. No. Don't
Okay.
do it. Don't be fooled.
All
Don't
right.
be fooled by all the Gucci and the Versace at weigh-ins and the press conferences.
They rented it. That was rent a swag.
All of those cars that you see on Embedded during Fight Week, those are sponsored.
Sponsored. They got it for free. They didn't even put gas in it. That's how broke they are.
No, just oh my goodness.
Oh, girl.
Just, what are you thinking?
So that's the first way to debunk that whole theory is the fact that if you're trying to be a wag, you wouldn't go for a fighter.
No. Never.
Yeah. Unless they're on the fast track. Maybe that's chapter 2.
I don't know. I think I need to get a hold of the book.
I know.
I'm just curious. I'm curious in a really weird way.
I hear it's a quick read.
Yeah, I hear it's like this big.
Yeah. It's a pamphlet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I hear it's a pamphlet too.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's just a weird one. But they're the MMA trolls, man, they are undefeated.
Yeah, they're
point.
on it.
They are crucifying him, and I wonder how he's going to recover from this because he was too sensitive to go to the press conference. So I'm just wondering.
He was sick.
You are so shady.
He was sick. He had a fever. And then it turned into pneumonia, which is the worst one. Remember little Timmy had pneumonia in the Christmas story? He was going to die. That's what he and Garry had. He probably had a little water bottle on his head. You know, the little
It's like, who gets pneumonia? I had bronchitis, but I mean,
like, was he like chilling in his room with the AC on?
My great grandmother had pneumonia in the 90s. How did that happen?
Oh my God. He came to Fight Week and got gout. Some old world disease.
Bro,
he's got a case of leprosy.
Too young for pneumonia.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Oh man, poor guy.
Sleeping in a barn?
Maybe that's the only place he get away from the trolls. Only place he felt safe for him and his family.
There's no place safe.
The barn. The thing that made me feel like he was being a little overly sensitive was the comment that he made about fearing for his family's life. Or for not life, safety. And I understand if he meant like mental safety. But he said my wife and kid. And it's like, you have a baby. Like
that baby don't know nothing.
Don't know nothing. That's like me fearing for my dog's mental health. Like he probably has more issues than that baby does.
Butcher's seen some shit.
Yeah. Butcher definitely has trust issues. But
that was a weird one.
It was weird because you know, as fighters we get a lot of random threats, a lot of hate thrown at us. And you learn how to thicken your skin. I feel like as long as nothing's happened in the physical world, then
sticks and stones.
Yeah, the internet world doesn't really matter. And it's kind of like, I imagine the internet being like the things you hear men say to women at a strip club. They would never say that outside of the strip club.
Exactly.
Never. They get a lawsuit thrown at them.
That stuff stays on Twitter.
They'd be in jail. But yeah, exactly. When you're on the internet, you can say shit to a fighter, and fighters kind of any entertainer accepts that as part of their job. We're gonna get shit on, basically, and usually more shit than good, and you just have to take that as it is. And I don't know. It just seems silly to feel like that would manifest physically in like the real world, especially during fight week, especially when you're going to be surrounded by the UFC detail, the security. It's hard to get into trouble if you're not looking for it, or if you're not looking for it.
Yeah, we're kept pretty safe, like in our little UFC fight week bubble.
Especially the higher profile people. There's like a hierarchy of how safe do they know. I think when I arrived to fight week, they're like, she's good.
She's fine.
She can handle herself.
She's fine.
She won't be swarmed, but the people who arrive who will be swarmed, they make sure
they get an extra security detail.
Yeah, they're bubbled up.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that was a challenging one. Maybe he had never experienced something like that before, and so it was very overwhelming. As it can be. I feel like we were christened very quickly.
You suck. Well, the women do get a lot more attention than the guys usually, and he's getting popular female level attention. So he is probably a lot of dick pics.
Definitely
in his DMs. But the one thing I'll say is that in a lot of internet, I wouldn't even call them trolls. A lot of people are bringing up the fact that he not attacked, but he shit talked to his opponents before he fought them. Everyone that he would say things to, he was talking shit to Luke before he fought them. And then when the tables are turned, he felt like it was too much.
Yeah, that's a hard thing, especially, I mean, if that is your brand, your persona, if that's the route you want to go, you've got to be willing and able to just take it and keep dishing it back. But you've got to be able to, people aren't punching bags. They're going to hit you back.
Yeah.
They're going to hit you where it hurts. And normally people will mirror you. So if you're throwing out some nasty stuff, you're going to get it back.
You know what? Who does this really well? Who does the shit talk game really well? Sean Strickland. Because he talks shit about himself.
See, that's the thing that
he beats him to the punch.
Yes,
it's goes.
It's like freaking. Who is that? Bunny on 8 Mile. Eminem on 8 Mile.
Oh,
he at the end of the movie, his friend goes up to him. He was like, it was going to be like this battle off. And his friend's like, well, what are you going to do? I mean, he's going to talk about this, and that, and it clicked to Eminem's character.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. So he basically took all of his leverage, opportunity, everything away from him.
Yeah.
Because he talked shit about himself. And he's like, I already know what you're going to say.
And he was funnier.
And he was hilarious.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what you do.
You got to do. You got to just own it.
Own it. You got to own it. You knew this. He knew that people were going to talk shit as soon as they found out about that nutritionist.
Come on.
You knew. He must have known. And if you're throwing things out there, making fun of people that you're fighting, trying to be this big guy, saying you knocked out Leon Edwards, all this other stuff, then be ready because somebody's going to have the gall to say it. And it was Strickland, wasn't it?
Of course it was.
It was Strickland. But it's what can you say to him? Because he's already come out and said all of it about himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he doesn't, that's a good way of being a shit talker and not having to worry about anything coming back to you. Because he did, Duplessis, I think, tried to use Strickland's past against him. He was like, oh, I'm a fuck you like your father or something like that. And he's like, all right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Been there, done that. I already talked about it.
Lame. Try again.
That was another fun non-fight related thing that happened in the audience. Dana White took full responsibility for being responsible for that seating assignment. Did he? He did at the press conference. He said, what kind of asshole seats those two next to each other? And he's like, me. I'm the asshole. This asshole.
Is that what he said?
He said it. I freaking love it. Because he's like, I don't know how I did that. He completely owned it and took responsibility for it. He's like, that was my mistake.
Okay, so it wasn't on purpose. Okay.
No.
That's funny.
But that's funny. Made magic.
That's going to be in the promos.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I can't wait for that fight now. Before I was like, I don't care about that fight. But now I'm like, let's go. Let's go.
Oh, no, I love it. As the broadcast team was talking about it, I was looking for footage on Instagram about what had happened, and you just see it and you're just like, oh my God. The favorite thing that happened was Strickland had had the foresight to ask Gilbert Burns' children to kindly step aside before he jumped on their chair and then jumped over it. And
what a good guy. What a good guy. It was Gilbert Burns' kids?
I think that's what they said.
Okay. He didn't want Gilbert Burns to punch him in the back of the head and one of them got hurt.
Like, don't fuck with that guy's kids.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. I swear to God, every time I'm like, man, Strickland is bad for MMA, he goes and proves me that there's a lot of people I don't like more.
There's something endearing about him at moments.
It is. I feel like
sometimes where you're like,
he could be the one that brings us all together as a country. We're so divided right now. We're so divided. He could be the glue that holds us together because everyone hates Biden right now. I still hate Trump. Fuck that guy. And it's just like he could be the person, the Messiah. Let me stop. Too far. But I thought he had some really cool moments this week. Another thing he did that I thought was really cool is he stood up for Leon Edwards during the press conference. When Colby, already like out of sight, out of mind. Who's that guy again? When Colby made fun of Leon Edwards' dad, his dead dad, oof, Strickland jumped up and he said, hey, you're trying to act like you're an American. No American would make fun of a man for being brought up by a single mother and being brought up to be a real man. Like, she turned this boy into a man. And to make fun of his grief is fucked up. Is very, I forget what he said. I think he called him a cunt. Like, it was the cuntiest thing to do. And you're not a real American. Any real American would get behind someone who was able to do that. They're not going to make fun of the guy's past. And I thought that was really cool of Strickland to say. He worded it way better than I just did. But it was really cool. And I was just like, bravo, you better champ that situation. It was an awesome way to stand up for Leon Edwards.
For sure. Colby was quite out of pocket on a lot of things. I mean, that guy can sell a fight. Listen, he really can. He's a mouthpiece, but there are just certain things that are off limits. That was one of the things that I wanted to cover on this episode is like, what's off limits, how far is too far. Mm-hmm. And we talked a little bit on our OnlyFans live feed before we started recording. And it's just family is and should always be off limits.
Unless it's your wife's ex who's your nutritionist.
Fair. Fair. 'Cause that's technically not family.
No, it's used to be your family's family.
They're removed.
Yeah.
They're removed.
Removed family.
They don't count anymore.
It's like a wart that's no longer there. You can talk about it.
Limb.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Oh man.
It's neither here nor there. So yeah, I think that family should definitely be off limits at all times. Especially with somebody as
passed.
What?
When someone has passed?
Well, yes, but I mean when somebody is a mouthpiece, when they're, a very entertaining and they always have something to say, I feel like he could have said anything else. Lots of other things.
Yeah.
Other than what he said. It was a low blow. It was unnecessary. It's just not something you should go after. That should be off limits at all times.
Know why he does that? Because his delivery is so bad that it has to be shocking. Because any other time you say seventh layer of hair, you meant hell. You're just going to focus on the hair part. You're not going to focus on what he said afterwards. So he's like, oh, I got to double down because I know I'm going to fuck this line up. So I have to say something so utterly shocking that is still going to make him mad, even though I fucked up.
He just probably practiced it so many times in his head, in the mirror. And then it was like paralysis because of analysis kind of thing. So he was trying to hit it a home run, and it just, he fouled.
That's every line. That's every sentence that comes out of that motherfucker's face.
That is fair. I'm just saying he has a lot, and he's trying to say all of it at all the time, and it just gets really jumbled in the process.
But you'd think at least one would come out smooth. One would come out the way that it was written down by...
I mean, on the promos, I feel like they do. Listen, I'm not defending him.
Don't.
It's there.
He's still stuttering. He goes, hey, I'm Colby Covington. Like, yeah, how did you forget? And how was that the best cut? You had so many cuts. You had so many, like, edits that you could have done. Just do a few like versions. And that was the best version. That's the one that made the final cut.
I mean, that's on the UFC.
No, that's the shit. Nerd Bash. You go back and you watch the Nerd Bash, the first one that we spoofed. He will stutter through that shit, and you know there's some really bad versions of that that could have made it.
Sure.
He picked the best one. He picked the best line, and it's still bad. It's still bad. So, of course, he's going to fuck it up live. If he can't get it right on the videos that he edits, he probably just had to go with it because the girls ran out of money. Like, their time was up. They're like, hey, pay me more.
I'm out.
Yeah. And he's like, okay, we got it. We got the shot. Dude, so I feel like he really has to go shocking because he knows he's going to fuck it up. And maybe that's why.
It's his thing. It's his style. It's his persona. It's, what has gotten him 3 title shots.
Ugh. But why? Why are we such trash humans that's what gets attention?
Because when it comes down to it, like the UFC is not shy about this. It's an entertainment sport. Before it is just a sport, before it's like a combat sport, it is an entertainment sport. And people will show up, whether they love him or hate him, to watch him win or lose.
Dude.
He is polarizing. He gets people in the seats. He's an easy sell. He really is.
Yeah, but that was probably his final, swan song. Like, that reminded me of when, Joffrey died in Game of Thrones. The way he was still trying to cut a promo at the end and everyone was just booing over it. And then Donald Trump is walking out in the middle of his promo. He's like, Donald Trump 2020. And Trump's like slowly walking out.
I mean,
with his security detail. I felt like that was that final moment where the guy that you were supposed to hate and it worked really well. And you were just like, I hate this guy. He finally got offed.
I don't know.
And that's what it felt like. That's what last night felt like to me. Even though the end of the fight ended kind of like in a with the submission attempt and then he ended on top, it was still a shutout performance by Leon Edwards and the crowd reacting the way they did. Donald Trump looking like fake okay but disappointed, doing his weird stare because he knew the camera was going to be looking at him while Colby was talking and then zipping out of there right afterwards. I thought it was beautiful. Beautiful. It was art. Mwah. Thank you, Colby, for providing me that joy in watching you lose. Because that's what it is, If you don't get the joy off of this fight, if he actually wins, you're going to get it off of the fight when he finally loses. And that's what always happens when someone plays the hill. They're winning. People hate him more and more and more. And then it's just like, you get that orgasmic feeling when they finally lose.
I'm more focused on the fact that I feel like if he had won the belt, it would have been the end of days because you have O'Malley, Strickland, and then Colby Covington.
The 7th layer of hair would open.
It would have swallowed us whole. That's what I was imagining. We got lucky.
We did.
we live to watch fights another day.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we should talk about the actual fights, the 2 title fights, but let's do that in our exclusive 15
it's about that time
on Fightpass.
See you there.
All right. Bye.